So yeah, now I'm going to add some materials to our object. So just hit M or press this button right here to open the material editor, and select an empty slot, and I'm going to change the diffuse color to white. Select our studio background and click this button right here to assign the material to the selection, and click this show standard map in viewport. If it doesn't show up, I'm going to click it anyway. Select the teapot and select an empty slot. Click on standard, go to art and design, and I'm going to select a template called copper, and the same thing, apply and show. I'm going to make a render test again. By the way, if you don't have the Mental Ray renderer selected, you just hit F10, and in the common tab you will scroll down, and in the assign renderer you change the production renderer to Mental Ray. So it already is. Let's make a render test again. Okay, it's looking good, but we can see already a black spot in the middle of our teapot. That is the reflection of our world environment. So I'm going to cancel this. And you could go to rendering environment and change the background color to white, but I tried, it doesn't look very good. So what I'm gonna do is go to the create panel, and I'm going to create a sphere right in the middle, just covering everything. I'm going to increase the segments to 40. Go to the modify panel and select add a modifier normal. Open your material editor and apply the same material of our studio background to the sphere. So if you try to render this right now, it will be brighter and the black spot will have gone. So I'm going to cancel this. I'm actually thinking that this is too bright, so I'm going to the exposure control, and I'm going to increase the exposure value to 7 and try to make another render test. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Now we just need to change some rendering options. So hit F10 to open the render setup, or just click right here. And I'm going to change the output size to full HD. You could change the time output, so we have a single frame which will render the frame that is selected. Active time segment, it will render all frames of the active timeline, and you can select a specific range. So I'm going with single right now, and you could change the render output. So if you want to save your images or a video, right here, just hit files. I'm not going to save it anyway. And you can change the view to camera, so it will render the camera that we have on the scene, and you can hit this lock right here, so it always renders this camera. So now I'm going to indirect illumination and enable final gather, and I actually think the low precision presets it's better, but I'm going with draft because I'm not very patient to waiting it to render. and I'm just going to increase the diffuse bounces to 2. These options right here are used for tweaking global illumination photons, which I'm not going to activate right now. By the way, you can scroll down and you will see the options of caustics and global illumination. This is a very complex procedure, and I think it deserves a whole tutorial just for global illumination, so I'm not going to activate it right now. That's okay in this rendering. Illumination, I'm going to render tab right now, and I'm going to increase the minimum samples to 1 and the maximum to 16, and I'm going to change the filter type to Mitchell. And if I render this right now, it will probably be very brighter. Yeah, that's because of the final gather. So I'm going to cancel this, and what I'm gonna do is go to the exposure control again, and and increase the exposure value to 8, and render again. That's looking good. Another thing that would make it look a little bit better would be ambient occlusion, which I also think deserves a whole tutorial just for it, because it's not that it's complex, but the concept is a little bit harder to understand, so I'm not going into it right now. Okay, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to come back when it finishes to render. So the render is finished. I'm pretty happy with the result. I guess that's it. So if you guys like this video, click thumbs up, favorite it, helps me a lot. If you want to subscribe to the channel so you can receive new updates when I post a new video, I'll try to make at least 3 or 4 tutorials a week. If you guys want, you can send some feedback to me so I can know what to improve in the tutorials. I'm aware that my microphone is not very good. It kind of makes some weird noises sometimes. I'll try to buy a new one. So I guess that's it. See you all.